Hello guys, welcome to Net Experts. My name is Sudhanshu Kapoor. Today I am going to start the 12th lecture of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 series. In the previous lecture, we learned about Active Directory objects in Server 2019 part 3. In this lecture, we are going to learn about local storage in Server 2019. Let's start the session guys. So we talk about the hard disk. So hard disk is a local storage. Local storage means when we purchase a physical server, or you can see that when we create a virtual image, so we need to attach one hard disk. We need to attach the storage space. You can see that is known as hard disks. So in physical servers, we can buy internal hard disks. When we assemble the physical system or physical desktop or laptops, so we can assemble with the hard disk as well, like 1 terabyte hard disk. We can assign 500 GB hard disks. We can assign 250 GB hard disk as well. So when we talk about the virtual machines, in virtual machines, once you're going to get the virtual machines, in virtual machines also we need to create one separate virtual hard disks. Now we talk about the hard disks. So hard disk is what? It's a kind of a local storage. So hard disk, or you can call it known as HDD. HDD means hard disk drive. We can call hard disk and you can call hard disk drive. So it is a local storage of servers. Local storage of servers, anything means whatever you can use, whether you can use servers, virtual machines, physical servers, logical servers, virtual machines, laptops, desktops, anything. So every machine, they have a local storage that is known as hard disks. Now if we talk about the local storage, so we have so many things to understand in hard disks. We'll start with so I hope everyone knows we can use hard disks to save data, to save files and folders and everything. Now we talk about the hard disk. So hard disk contain so many things. Number one, we need to understand first partition table. Now we talk about the partition table. So partition table is what? It's a kind of you can say that it's a kind of method. It is a kind of method or you can say it's a kind of method through which we can manage, you can say that we can manage, or through which we can manage or install OS in the hard disk. So once when I you can see that in physical servers or virtual machines, we talk about the virtual machines. So when I create the virtual machines and when I'm going to start the installation of OS in virtual machine, like we have a virtual server, we already know that, like I have a virtual Windows server. So once I create this virtual server, so after that when I going to install virtual server 2019 in this particular virtual machine, so first what we can do, we need to first you can say that what operating system does, it maintain the partition table. You can say that partition table is used to initialize the disk. You can say that, okay, it's a ports. So if we don't have a partition table, so we're not able to create the partitions. We cannot able to create the partition. So we have two types of partition tables, as you can see that in Windows. So number one is we have MBR, and number second we have GPT. We have two types of partition tables. So I'll tell you what are the difference between these two types of partition tables. So MBR and GPT, these are two partition tables who maintain the information about partitions, whatever partition we can create it. Like if we have C drive, D drive, E drive, or we have primary or secondary partitions we have in the hard disk. So it can maintain all the information about partitions. It maintain all the information about OS. It maintain all the information about your file systems as well. We discuss about what is file system as well. So it maintains everything. Now if we talk about the MBR, so MBR is known as, we talk about the MBR, so MBR is known as master boot record. Master boot record. Master boot record. And If we talk about the master boot record, so what it provides me, like if I talk about this, so this partition table, you can say that this partition table is used since 1980. As you can see that since 1980 we always use MBR. As you can see that once we have Windows 98, Windows 95, Windows XP, Windows 2000, 2003, or Windows 7, Windows Vista. So when your operating system launches, where you can say that when your operating system starts, when Microsoft starts building operating system or developing operating system, in that case their first partition table is known as MBR, master boot record. So it starts with 19s. Now if we talk about the master boot record or this partition table, it supports a maximum of four primary partitions. 4 primary partitions as per drive. Per drive means per hard disk. Per hard disk, as you can see that. Fine. Now what is the meaning of primary partitions over there? Primary partition means where we can install the OS. Like C drive is my primary partition. Okay, when we're going to install OS, they asked me to ask the partitions. So C drive is my primary partitions, and then after the D, E, F, G, H, these all are logical drives. So we can install 4. You can say that we can install 4 primary partitions in one hard disk. If we talk about in MBR only. Understood? Fine. So in one hard disk we can install only 4 primary partitions if I are using MBR. The next we can go for that. Now the next we can go for that. One partition can support 2 TB space, not more than that. And this means that if I create one primary partition, so we can able to give only 2 TB space, not more than that. If I want to use above 2 TB space in one primary partition, so we need to switch to GPT. Understood? In MBR, it supports only 2 terabytes. Like if I create C drive, so I am not able to create more than 2 TB. My C drive. Now if we talk about the GPT, if you go for GPT is known as GUID partition table. The full form is GUID partition table. So if you talk about the GUID partition table, so this is it comes with you can say that Windows 7 onwards, if Windows Vista something onwards, 7 or 8 onwards. So we have go for GPT as well. So GPT, as you can see that it's a advanced version of, it is advanced version of MBR. It's advanced one with MBR. Okay. Now what are the advantages on this? It supports a maximum 128 primary partitions. So we are able to create over there 128 primary partitions, as you can see that. As you can say that per drive, 128 partitions per hard disk or per drive, like this. Okay, so in one hard disk we can create, if I using GPT, so we can create 128 partitions, 128 primary partitions. So we can create 128 partition, maximum primary partition we can create in 128 in GPT partition table. Now next, if we talk about the third feature of GPT, so we can go for like we can one partition can support 18 hexabytes, 18 hexabytes data. Means you can say that hexabyte is more than a terabyte as well. Okay, so that much we can support. Means in one partition we can say that we can use 18 hexabyte size. Okay, like in MBR we able to create only one partition 2 terabyte space only, not more than that, but GPT we can go for 18 hexabytes. Understood? Fine. So these are the two differences between MBR and GPT. These are the two partition tables we are using always. Okay. So this is the concept of things. Okay. Now next we need to understand is disk types. We have a disk types also. Disk types means hard disk types. So when you're going to install hard disk, or you can say that when you're going to or if you have a physical machine, so you can purchase one hard disk and attach on the hard disk. After you initialize your hard disk, they ask you that by default your disks works as a basic disk. This is a one type of disk is known as the basic disk, where we can install the operating system, where we can create the partitions, where we can create the drives, where we can create the primary partitions, extended partitions, logical drives, where we can create the different drives, and where you can install the operating systems. So in that we can use basic disks. So in basic disks, by default your hard disk work as a basic disks. In that we can create the partitions, we can install the operating systems as well. Now next we have a dynamic disk. Now dynamic disk, we can convert my hard disk to dynamic disk as well. So if we talk about the dynamic disk, with the help of dynamic disk, we able to merge multiple hard disks. We able to merge multiple hard disk space and create one volume. Okay, understand? The concept is that we in dynamic disk we are not able to install operating systems, we are not able to create the partitions, but yes, if we have multiple hard disks, like imagine in my server we have multiple hard disks like this. If I give you the example, so I make another okay, I'll open another paint. As you can see that, like imagine that I have a physical, or you can say I have a one virtual server like this. We have a server. So imagine that in that this is my server. Like we already used one server, that is a virtual server. I have a server over there, and now I can attach 3 hard disks with this server. Okay, so this is my hard disk, as you can see that. So hard disk always starts with hard disk 0, hard disk 0, hard disk 1, hard disk 2, like this. Okay, so we have 3 hard disks. So this is my, I call it known as HDD0, and then we have HDD1, and then we have HDD2. We have 3 hard disks. Now I'm going to attach these hard disks with my server like this. Imagine I can attach this hard disk with my server. So in this server I have 3 hard disks. Now every hard disk has the space. Like imagine this hard disk has 1 TB space. This is the brand new hard disk. I'm not doing anything. I just attach the hard disk to the server only. Now we have in this we have 2 TB hard disk. We have 2 TB space in this, in hard disk 1. In hard disk 2 we have 1 TB again. So if we talk about, we have total we have, if we talk about the total space, so total we have, total space we have 4 terabyte, and this we have total we have 4 terabyte. Now imagine that I want to create 3 terabyte partition. Okay, out of 4 terabyte I want to create 3 terabyte. So what I need to do, by default these disks are working in basic disks. Understood? So by default these disks are work in basics. So this disk also works in basics. Basic. By default this also works in basics, and this also works in basics. Basic disk. Okay. Now I need to convert them to dynamic also. If I need to, you can say that combine these space, and you can create one drive, one volume. So what I need to do, I need to convert these disks to dynamic. Understood? Okay. So what I do, I convert these all 3 disks to dynamic. Previously it works on basic, now these disks works in dynamic. Dynamic disk, we call it known as dynamic disks. Okay, once I create these disks to dynamic disks, so we have one technology named RAID. Once I create this disk in dynamic disk, so I'm able to see the technology named RAID. So with the help of this RAID technology, or with the help of this RAID, I am able to merge the space and create one 3 terabyte volume. So we can do like this. So why I'm using the dynamic disk to combine or you can say to merge the disk spaces and create one drive or create one volume like this. Understood? Okay. So that is what we have a dynamic disk. So we have two types of disks, basic and dynamic. But remember one thing also. Remember one thing also, that in dynamic disks we are not able to. In dynamic disks, we are not able to install operating system, any kind of operating system, whether it is server or client, it doesn't matter. We are not able to do. Number one. Number two, once I convert my disks to dynamic, after that, once the disk is converted to dynamic, we are not able to get back. We are not able to convert to basics. We are not able to convert them to basic. If you want to convert them to basic, you need to delete all the volume which you created. And so like we have in this scenario, I'm getting the 3 terabyte volume. So I need to delete this volume. I need to delete this this volume, and after that it automatically convert to basic. So I need to delete all the dynamic volumes, and then the disks are automatically convert them to basic. I need to delete all the drives, all the volumes, and I need to you can say that we need to empty the drive. Okay. So once I convert my disk to dynamic, we are not able to convert them to basic. If you want to convert them to basic, delete all the volumes. This, if you want to convert these disks in basic, again we need to delete all the dynamic or all the volumes which we created in dynamic disks. And I said fine. So this is the way, this is the process where we can go for that. Don't need to worry about that. I'll show you the practical also, that how we can initialize the disk, how we can attach the disk. Okay, so like this. So this is the way we talk about. So that is the way we have. So that is what we have. We have two things: partition table and file systems. Partition tables and types of disks. So partition table, we have two types of partition tables, MBR and GPT, and we have two types of disks, basic and dynamic. So we talk about the basic disk. In basic disk, we are able to install operating system, we are able to create the partitions. But if I convert them to dynamic, so we are not able to install the operating systems, we are not able to create the partitions. For why we are using the dynamic disk? To combine or to merge the multiple hard disk space and create the one volume like this, which I already told you. Understood? Now next we need to understand file systems. So we talk about the file systems. We have, number one is, what is file system? So we talk about the file system. So file system is what? You can say that it is the process. Okay. If I purchase one hard disk, I attach in the server or client, whatever you have. Okay, imagine you have a server, so you can attach the hard disk in the server, and after that you need to format the drive. After that you can initialize the disk. You can set the partition tables, and after that what we need to do, we can going to create the drives. We can going to create the partitions. Once after getting the partition, we're going to create the volumes. Once we're going to create the volumes, you can see that when you're going to create any drive, C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, any drive, so they ask you to format the drive first. After that anyone is able to, after that we able to, after formatting the drive, we able to save the data. Before formatted, we are not able to save the data. It's a raw partition. I'm not able to save that. Why? Because we need file system to save the data. Remember these things. In hard disk we need file system to save the data in the volumes. Volume means the C drive, D drive, B drive. These are the volumes. D, E, F, G, H. These are the volumes. C drive is the primary partition, and after the D, E, F, G, H, these are the volumes. So if I need to save any data in the volumes, first we need to format it. So once I'm going to format it, they ask me to which file system you want to format. We have 3 file systems in that case. Number 1 is FAT. Second is FAT32. Third is NTFS, and another one we have in server is known as REFS. This file system works in only servers, REFS. So we have FAT, FAT32, NTFS, and REFS. So REFS is what? REFS also works in client as well, but we need GPT for this. Okay, so I'll let you know. So if we talk about the FAT, NTFS, FAT32, REFS, so these are the, you can say that these are four file systems we have. So we need to define the file system first. Once I going to format my volume, they ask me which file system I need to format. Either I can use FAT32, either I can use NTFS, either I can use REFS. What file system you want to format your drives? Understood? Okay. So now these are the things we need to understand. It. Okay. So if we talk about the file systems, so FAT we are not using right now. FAT is a very older one. FAT is used in Windows NT, Windows XP, Windows 95, 98 operating systems. Right now we are not using the FAT. We are using FAT32, NTFS, and REFS. So if we talk about the FAT32 operating system, FAT32 file systems, so their partition size is 2 GB, not more than that. If I am using FAT32, so their partition size is 2 GB only. 2 GB means we are not able to use more than 2 GB. Means if I create any volume, like if I going to create the drive D, so we able to create a maximum of 2 GB, not more than that. We are not able to use that much space. 2 GB. In NTFS, the maximum space we can use in this, if I am using NTFS, is 2 TB. So we can go for 2 TB for NTFS. And the last one, REFS, or we can go for more than 2 TB. Like we already know that we already discussed about the GPT. So GPT supports REFS file systems. So if we talk about the REFS, so REFS goes to like this, like 18 hexabytes, like that, EB. So if we talk about the file system, so FAT is not using right now. FAT in the FAT, when FAT is up there, so it supports only you can say that some 500 KB, like this something. Okay, so we are not able to use now FAT. FAT is not using right now. Okay, so right now it's NA. We are not able to use FAT right now. So if we talk about the FAT32, so if I going to use FAT32, so we are able to create volumes and we can give maximum space of 2 GB, in NTFS 2 TB, and in REFS 18 hexabyte. So like this. Okay, so these kind of file systems we have. So it's up to you now which file system you want to go for that. Now if we talk about the FAT32, NTFS, and REFS, so FAT32 have less security, as you can say that. It has less permissions. We talk about permissions also in Active Directory objects. So we talk about the permissions. So it has only 3 permissions: read, write, something like this. Read, write, and modify. That's it. Modify. In NTFS, it's a less permission, means less secure. If we talk about the NTFS has more permissions. Like we talk about the permissions like encryption. We can do encryption. We can use compression. If we need to compress the data, we can go for that. Instead of this, we can go for auditing as well. Now next we have read permission also, write permissions also, modify permission also, list of contents. Okay, it gives you ownership also. So these are the permissions provided by, and lots more. You can say that, etc. Lots more permissions provided by your NTFS. So that's why NTFS is more secure. These same permissions provided by REFS also, but REFS has a more you can say that more volume, more space. Like if you want to create 2 terabyte, if you want to create above 2 terabyte space, or you can create the volume of 3 terabyte or 4 terabyte, so we need REFS in that case. So these first three, if you talk about the first three file systems supported by MBR. So if I use these three, so we always use MBR partition table. Understood? We always use MBR partition table. So if I'm using MBR partition table, so I'm use these three file systems: FAT, FAT32, and NTFS. And if we talk about the REFS, so if I'm using REFS, so it means I am using GPT in that case. If I'm using REFS, it means I am using GPT. So if I'm using the GPT file system, so in that case we can use NTFS and REFS. NTFS also support GPT, but REFS also support GPT, because in GPT we can use above 2 terabyte. We can create volumes above 2 terabyte. In MBR we can create volumes maximum of 2 terabyte, not more than that. Understood? Fine. So this is the thing of file systems we have. Here, so we have 4 types of file systems. Right now we're using only 3 types of file systems: FAT32, NTFS, and REFS. Understood? Fine. Now let's see how we can attach the hard disks in our virtual machines. Let's see first the practical. So if I open my server, so I have my server is running. This is my DC, which you already created in the previous lectures. So I open my DC. Now if I'm showing you with this VM settings, so I just right click on the VM and click on settings. So over there we already have one hard disk, as you can see that. I have one hard disk, 60 GB. 60 GB hard disk is already running in my this server. So once I creating that time when I creating the virtual machine, so they asked me to attach the hard disk. So I already attached the 60 GB in this machine, in this server machine. So how we can attach the other hard disk, I'll showing you. So once if I showing you, like if I open my I just press Windows and press E button to open File Explorer, or to open this PC, as you can see that. So this is, you can see that this is my this PC. Okay, and if I click on C drive, so as you can see that in this PC, and click on my C drive, so as you can see that all 60 GB partition is there, 60 GB, and now we have 48.7 GB free. Okay, so how we can manage my hard disk? As you can see that if I need to manage my hard disk, so I need to open disk management. So the command is, if you open run and write down disk mgmt.msc, it is the command to open disk management utility. So every operating system, whether it is a server or whether it is a client operating system, you run this command to open disk management utility. So open it, simple, click on OK. So as you can see that they're showing me that we have a disk 0, 60 GB, and the hard disk works on basic. As you can see that the type of the hard disk is basic. The total space is 60 GB and the disk is disk 1. So it starts with disk 0. My first disk indicates the disk 0, as you can see that, and it's online right now. They told me that we have two partitions, one is system reserve and one is C drive. C partition in that. Okay. Now if I want to attach the more hard disk in my this VM, so what I do, I just right click to my VM and go to settings. Now we'll see how we can attach the hard disks, more hard disks. So I go for click on add over there, and we have a hard disk. Hardware type is hard disk. I need hard disk to attach. Click on next, Now we are going to attach the SCSI hard disk. So before I attach the hard disk, I told you that we have 3 types of hard disks. 3 to 4 types of hard disks we have. Okay, fine. So I just tell you we have 4 types of hard disks. Just wait. If we talk about over there, so we have so number 1 we have IDE, number 2 we have SATA, number 3 we have SCSI, number 4 we have SSD. So we have 4 types of hard disk, as you can see that. IDE is a very old hard disk. So when we are in earlier years, you can say that when the systems are, or you can say that your systems are launched, or your you can say that the computers are there. So that time we can use IDE. IDE is known as integrated device electronics. The full form is integrated device electronics. It has 40 pin ports. If I'm showing you like this, see, I open my IDIS. If I open the Google, click on image. So this is the IDE hard disk. Sorry. As you can see that, see, this is the hard disk we use earlier, in earlier operating systems, like Windows, like when we have Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3 hardware. So in that case we can use IDE. Pentium 4 onwards we have a SATA hard disks. So this is the IDE port, we can call it. This hard disk is known as integrated device electronics, and this is the IDE port. It has 40 pins. Out of 40 pins, we use only 39. One is for ground. So that's why we can go for 39 pins. So now if I'm showing you the data cable of IDE hard disk cable, so this is like a cable we have. This is the cable we have, IDE hard disk cable. So with the help of this cable, we have two ends. As you can see that we have 2 ends like this. Okay, so one end is go to the motherboard, and second end is go to the outside back of the hard disks, like this. This is the hard cable. This is the actual cable we have. Okay, so if you need to attach 2 hard disks, so one hard disk you can attach over there, and second hard disk you can attach over there, and this port is plugging on the motherboard. Motherboard also have that much IDE connector we have. Okay, so like if I showing you like this, we are using, like this is the SATA one. I'll showing you the hard disk. So IDE, this is like this. We are using the IDE. This is the installation of IDE. So we can attach the IDE hard disk. One port is there, and second port is on the motherboard, like this. Okay, so this is the IDE hard disk we have. Now we talk about the SATA one. So this is the SATA. This is the SATA cable which we always used. This red one, this one. This is the SATA cable we always use. This is the SATA hard disk. Now if we talk about the difference between IDE and SATA is more faster as compared to IDE. Okay. Now if we talk about the SATA hard disks, so it's look like this. Here it is. This is the SATA hard disk I have. Here it is. This is the SATA hard disk. This is the SATA. We have 7 pin connectors over there, like this, like this. We have 7 pin connectors. So with the help of this connector, we are going to for that. Okay, so this is the you can say that this is the SATA power cable, and this is the SATA hard disk. And if we talk about the IDE power cable, so IDE power cable like this. This we can call is known as Molex. That's 4 pin cable we have. See, if you see that in this hard disk, this is the SATA power. So where we can plug the cable over there through MPS, through SMPS. SMPS we can put the cable. This is the Molex connector. You can say that. This is for power, and this is for data cable, and this is for jumper settings. Jumper setting means like if you like imagine that I have 3 hard disks, 3 IDE hard disks, or you can say you have 2 IDE hard disks. So I want that. Disk 1, this disk I want to make a primary one, because I want that my system needs to boot from this disk. So I set the jumpers. So jumpers means that with the help of jumpers I set this hard disk as a primary and second disk as a slave. So this is my primary, or you can say this is the master hard disk and this is the slave. Master slave, we have two terms. Master means the master hard disk or computer always boots with the master hard disks, and slave is a secondary hard disk, as you can see that. Understood? If you want to use want to boot the slave hard disk, so make slave as a master and master as a slave. So we can use these jumper settings. As you can see that this is the jumper. Understood? Fine. So with the help of this. Now if we're showing you the SCSI hard disk, SCSI hard disk always used in servers. Like this. This is the SCSI hard disk we have. SCSI. See, this is the SCSI hard disks. And this is the SCSI port we have. So we're not able to see this port on the motherboard by default. We need to use SCSI adapter like this. If I'm showing you SCSI hard disk adapter, it show like this. This is the adapter, as you can see that. We need to first put this adapter on the motherboard, and then this is the part, as you can see that 80 pin SCSI hard disk. So over there we need to attach the cable, and we can go for that. Understood? Fine. So this is the way how we can, because in motherboard we don't have 80 pin connector or 64 pin connector. Maximum big connector is 40 pin. That's it. That is the IDE. Now SCSI starts with 50, 48, 60, 64, 80 like this. Okay, so we need to first attach this adapter on the motherboard, and then with the help of that adapter we are able to attach the hard disk with the motherboard. In the last one we have SSD hard disks. There is also SSD hard disk. It's look like this. This is the SSD hard disk we have. Now what is the difference between SSD and IDE is no one knows that. This is the difference between, you can say that it runs on motors, platters and everything, but it runs on semiconductors, as you can see that. Semiconductor diode, you can see that. Okay, so this is the semiconductor hard disk. So they have a chip, semiconductor chip, like IC's chip we have. So with the, so that's why the SSD hard disk is more faster than as compared to your simple HDD hard disks. Why? Because they save everything on these platters. This is the platter, this is the head actuator, as you can say that. It moves left and right to read and write the data on the platters. So everything, when I save any data, when I read any data, when I delete any data on the you can say that on this type of hard disks. Okay, so that so everything is saved on the platter, 0101 format. It's binary format, and this head actuator is used to move the head. On the top of the tip, we have a head over there, and this is the head actuator. And over there, under there, we have a motor named stepper motor, who just run your head actuator, and a head actuator runs the header. And then under this platters, we have a spindle motor who spin your platters. It's round. It's running 72 RPM. RPM means rotation per minute. In 1 minute, it rotates 7200 times. If we talk about the IDE rotation, we talk about the IDE rotation, as you can see that. So IDE rotates 7200 RPM. RPM means rotation per minute. If we talk about the SATA, it starts with 10,000 RPM. Means 72 to 10,000, 7200 to 10,000 RPM. And if we talk about the SCSI starts 10,000 RPM to 15,000 something RPM, like this. Okay, so RPM means rotation per minute. So it's look like this. Now SSD not works on platters, it works on semiconductor, so it's more than fast. Understood? Fine. So this is the comparison of your simple hard disk, your means the IDE, SATA or SCSI hard disk, or we have a SSD hard disk. So SSD hard disk works on ICs, integrated circuits, or semiconductors. Understood? There is no platters in the SSD hard disks. Clear? Now let's see the practical. So I'm going to attach now. Now again I'm going to attach. So I just open my virtual machine settings. I'll show you again. I just right click to my virtual machine, click on settings. Over there they open like this. Now I need to attach the hardware. So I click on add. Now we have the option hard disk. Hardware type is hard disk. So click on hard disk. Now we have SCSI, SATA and IDE. We have three types. So IDE is not visible. Why? Because IDE is not attached with the power on, VM power on. So if I need to attach the hard disk, IDE hard disk, we need to first power off the VM. After that I am able to attach the IDE. So this is my server. So in servers we can use only two hard disks, SCSI and SSD. We are not able to use IDE and SATA in servers, in server operating system, in server hardware, as you can see that. If I am using the server hardware, we can use only SCSI and SATA. So SCSI and SSD. If I am in desktop, so in desktop or you can see that laptops, we can use IDE, SATA and SSD. We can use it. Okay. So right now I'm using SCSI. Click on next now because it's the server. create a new virtual disk. Okay, now they ask me the space, how much space you want. Okay, so I want, imagine, 40 GB right now. Now click on next and click on finish. As you can see that he used 40 GB space. Okay, so right now this is my second disk. Click on OK. Then you can see that I'm opening already disk management and it's showing me we have a disk 1 size is 40 GB, but right now it's offline, it's not running. We need to run also. So how we can run it? Let's right click on that. We have the option online option is there. Click on online. Now we have right click again. We have the option initialize disk. We need to initialize the disk now. Now once I click on initialize the disk, they ask me which partition table you want to use, MBR or GPT. So right now I am less than 2 TB, so I am always use MBR because I am less than 2 TB right now. If I am more than 2 TB, if my hard disk space is more than 2 TB, so we can go for GPT in that case. So I am using MBR. Okay, click on OK. So as you can see that now disk 1 is converted them to basic one and it's 40 GB and it's online right now. Now I'm able to create the volume. So right click on that, click on new simple volume, and this space is known as unallocated space. As you can see, the black space is known as unallocated space. Unallocated. Okay, so right now right click on that, click on new volume, click on next. Okay, now we're going to the space. Now I don't want 40 GB full, I want only, you can imagine, I want 20 GB. So if I convert the 20 GB into MBs, so let's go for, I open calculator once, I convert 20 into 1024. So 1 MB, 1 GB is equal to 1024. So I want 20 GB. So how much we can go for it? 20480. This convert them to MB. Okay, so I need to define over there 20480. This is the actual space of 20 GB. Click on next, E drive. So now it's assigning me the E drive. Click on next. Okay, click on next. I see they ask me the partition, the file system now. We have 3 file systems: FAT32, NTFS and REFS. Okay, so right now I'm using NTFS because it's less than 2 TB. Click on next and click on finish. As you can see that we have 20 GB partition is created now. Now this is the partition. As you can see that blue is partition. So we are successfully able to create the partition. Now if I open my file explorer, as you can see that in this PC they're showing me we have a E drive and its space is 19.9 GB, something it's taking. So it's total 20 GB we have, like this. Understood? Fine. So like this we have. So like this, how we can create the, how we can attach the hard disks and how we can create the file system, or how we can attach the hard disk, how we can initialize the hard disk, how we can choose the partition table, and how we can create the volumes. Fine. So this is the basic. You can see that once you read servers, you need to understand that how we can how we install or how we manage our local drives. As you can see that this is the local storage where we can manage with the help of, and now one more thing we need to understand is that, like, imagine now if I open my server again I'm in my server. Now imagine that I again open my disk management once. I'll tell you 2 things also. So like if I need to increase this space, so we have the option, option is extend volume without format anything. Like imagine I have some data in my E drive. Like say if I open my file explorer and I save something in my E drive, I have an E drive. Like imagine I have create one folder and I copy this folder and paste to this folder. I have some multiple copies. Okay, now I close this. Now I have some data in my E drive. Now without loss my data, I need to extend the space. Now I have 20 GB free, 20 GB I already created. Now I want to make this space as 25 GB. Okay, so first I again go for calculation. So if I go for 1024 into 5, so answer is 5120. So I need more 5120 MB space. What I do, I just right click on that. We have the option extend volume. Click on extend volume. Click on next. Now we have 20 GB space. Yes, out of 20 GB I need 5120. Okay. Click on next. Click on finish. So as you can see that I have 25 GB space now, and my space left is 15 GB. So if I open my volume, E volume, so as you can see that my E volume is there. It's 24.9 something, and my data is still there. So we can increase or decrease the volume also. Like if you want to shrink it, you can shrink it also. Like imagine now 25 is more than enough. I don't want to use 25 GB. in this. I want to shrink. I want to decrease the space. So I go for that. I have a shrink volume also. I click on shrink. As you can see that now you have 224278 something. Okay, fine. You have 25 GB space. Okay, so size of the shrink space is this. Okay, so we can shrink it. Like I want 2048. I want to decrease 2 GB only. I click on shrink over there. As you can see that now space is 23 and we have a 17 GB free space. Now if I open again my file explorer with Windows E command, as you can see that in my D drive, my data is E drive. My data is there. As you can see that. Okay. Open E drive and see the data is there. So that's how we can create the volumes, how we can shrink the volumes, and how we can extend the volumes, decrease the volumes like this. Understood? So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching.